Hi everyone! Today I have just a quick talk through makeup tutorial for you guys. It went from about like 60 in the morning to like 30 in the morning in the course of about 36 hours, so I don't know if you can see, but I have a little two-story situation going on here. It's pretty painful. I just wanted to kind of do a makeup tutorial that I was kind of inspired by this sudden temperature change that we frequently get where I live, where kind of like a welcome to winter kind of look. So it's cool toned, but it's not super cool, and it kind of has a little bit of that frostiness to it that I see now that the grass is frozen overnight. So let's get started. I'm gonna be using this hydrating primer from Dominique Cosmetics. It has a consistency like a lotion, like a thin lotion, but once you rub it into your face, it becomes like water. It's really cool. And it also has a really pleasant sweet smell to it. It absorbs into the skin really quickly, and overall I really enjoy it. I'm gonna use this from Tarte. It's the Foundcealer. I do find the name to be a little misleading. It's called the Foundcealer, and that would make you think, oh, it's gonna act like you don't need a concealer because it covers all your blemishes and it makes your life perfect and it solves all your problems, but it's actually, I would say, more closer to a medium coverage foundation, which is fine. I don't mind medium coverage at all, but for some people I can see how they would buy it and then they would feel like they kind of got deceived. Even though I have breakouts right now, I don't really need full coverage. I don't mind that you can still see it. I still mostly just use foundation to establish a nice good canvas for my face. I don't really want to cover up my spots necessarily. I don't really care. My face got a little tan this summer because I don't really wear SPF when I drive to and from work, and whenever I'm driving back it's like shining straight through the windshield, so my face tanned a little, but you can see it still matches my neck. I'm still trying to make this work. Everybody keeps saying it's such a great concealer if you have dry skin and you need something creamy, so I still want to see if I can make this work. I'm gonna try it on my finger this time. You can see how little I took. That's not so bad. I don't really feel like it covered up my dark circle necessarily, but it definitely like brings out that area a little bit. I will say the pot has like a lifetime and a half's worth product. I don't see how anybody could ever finish one unless you like actually had clients that you used this on. I don't really feel like that honestly did too much for me, honestly, and this concealer doesn't quite match my skin color, so if I wear it on top of foundation that is a little too light for my summer complexion, then you can kind of see the divide between the concealer and the foundation. I still do want to make it work though. I'm gonna just take a little bit of some pot concealer to kind of cover up the last little parts. Okay, I think I look a little better now. My under eyes feel a little bit dry, but that's just, my skin has just been so dry, so there's not really much I can do there. I will take a little bit of this Too Faced Hangover setting spray. This is what I generally use to kind of set my face between layers of makeup. I like completely missed. I still have this, by the way. I still like it a lot. My powder products kind of go on extended leave once it hits winter around here. I just really have such a hard time using them unless I like do my makeup first thing in the morning and my skin is ultra prepped and hydrated, but then throughout the day I can feel my skin getting tighter and tighter, so I can't wear it the entire day. I'll have to take it off. And then if I decide that I want to film twice in one day, the second time I cannot make powder look good the second time. It's not gonna happen. You're gonna see like crusty, it's gonna look gross. So I'm gonna go ahead and not use powder for now, and I'm gonna move straight onto contour. This is currently my favorite kind of cream bronzer. Well, I have lots of favorites, but this one has the most unique texture. It's got that whipped texture to it. You can see how it almost feels like a souffle. It's really cool. I'm gonna take the SHISEIDO brush, which works really well with this product. It's synthetic, but the bristles are just really, they're firm, but they're still so soft. So when I use it on my skin, I don't really feel like I'm like pulling up dead skin cells. And that's one of my biggest problem with face brushes, which is why I don't use a brush for my foundation, is because I can feel my skin being basically exfoliated by the brush, and then I feel like my foundation is gonna look really weird because you can see all of the exfoliation on my skin now. So my foundation never lays down smoothly with the brush because you can just see all of the crustiness of my face. So I always use a sponge. So if I ever do have a foundation brush in like a brush set or something, I always use it to just apply things like this. It's a kabuki brush meant for, you know, using foundation. They said you can use it, but as you can see, I use it to apply cream contour products, and it works just fine. This product also blends so well. Look, there is no product left on the brush. All of it transfers successfully to my face and adheres to my skin. So I don't even have to worry about cross-contamination. I just can use this over and over again. It's to the point where I don't actually use this brush for anything else. I just use this for this product because these two just go so well together. Shiseido makes really good synthetic brushes, honestly. Like, nobody talks about it because it's not really what you would think when you think of Shiseido, but if they ever have a 20% off sale, you should totally get some of their brushes. So I don't really, it's not like you can really contour with bronzer, but I still do kind of drag it down to my jaw a little bit. I've also had that particular bronzer since about like 2018 now, and it's like still just as good as new. So you get your money's worth out of it, even if you don't pan it quickly, it doesn't dry out. So I'm not really gonna contour just because I don't actually have any cream contour products I super like. I do kind of want the Fenty Beauty Amber that's in that pot form, that's more in the cream collection, but I also have the stick, so it just feels super redundant. I'm really excited to try this out. This is the Benefit Brow Pen. You can see how it has the prongs. I've tried other like cheaper drugstore versions that had the prongs, and obviously they all were garbage, so I don't have them anymore. But people were saying that this one's really good, so I really wanted to try it. I will say, the color is not the greatest match for me. They didn't have like a black or anything, they had like dark brown. So I got dark brown, but you can see it kind of looks really light against my hair. So they do wish they had more shades. Yeah, it's like hardly showing up. I really like this formula, I will say that's for sure. And the prongs draw really nice. So for like a super subtle brow, I guess. If you don't have black hair, if you have like brunette or blonde hair, then this could totally do really good things for you. I'm just kind of sad, I thought this would be dark enough. I mean, you can see the little bit of difference. So I guess for like a super natural brow, this would look okay. But I'll have to go in with like some other stuff. I was planning on today's look being fairly low-key, like something you could just wear out and about to work or something, so I was thinking of doing a more kind of Korean inspired look today, so I guess this works. I will say it's like you couldn't mess this up even if you tried. It like applies really well, it strokes really well. So if you have the color for it, then I definitely would recommend this. I was torn between this or the Anastasia one, but I really wanted to try this one because of the prongs. It just seems so convenient and easy. I'm gonna use the Precisely My Brow Pencil just to kind of fill in the back of my eyebrows and give it that length that I need. I'm gonna fluff up the front of my brows a little bit with this Cosmetics brow cream, which I've been using a lot recently. Once my brow hairs are up, I can really see where all my bald patches are, so I'm gonna go back in and kind of fill those in a little bit. So I just noticed that the tips of my brow microfilling pen, they kind of went a little pale, almost as if the ink is not coming down. So I'm gonna have to look into if there's a problem with the ink flow. Maybe I got a bad product. If so, then I might have to like ask for an exchange or something. That's always such a hassle. I'm using my Urban Decay Anti-Aging Primer Potion. It's pretty good for dry eyelids, I would say. I don't really know if it does anything, but it feels nice. Eyes primed. I'm never quite sure if that really is going to do anything, but we'll see. I didn't just get that see-through matte lip from the Hanbok collection. I also got this quad, and as you can see, it just has a really unique selection of purple toned neutrals. Literally everything about the Romand collections, like anything they come out, it's just so perfect. Like the concept and the theming and the names and the colors are all just always so brilliantly selected. And so this Hanbok collection, it just really blew me away with the packaging and the experience and the colors and everything. It's just so like elegant, which is fitting since it is a collection themed after the Hanbok. So I really like this quad. I'm gonna start off with the lightest shade here, and I'm just gonna kind of use it as an all-over base. I know Korean eyeshadows can be really controversial sometimes, like their priorities and their formulas are not always super similar to the formulas we're familiar with around here, but I think Romand's formula is definitely super special. It's not like ultra pigmented or anything, but it has this creaminess to it, almost like there's blurring inside the eyeshadow. So the mattes are ultra matte and creamy, and they almost kind of blur your eyelid. And then of course they blend out really nicely. I don't know why I'm using that brush, it's way too small. They are really powdery is the only thing, but it's not really that big of a deal for me. So you can see how using that base color, it didn't really change the color of my eyelids much, but you can see how it just establishes a really cool mood. And really cools down my entire face. There was another quad too that was more brown, and I passed on that just because it didn't really stand out to me enough to warrant me buying it. But this purple quad though is just absolutely beautiful. I don't even really have colors quite like it, and trust me when I say I do have quite a few eyeshadow palettes, so to say that this offers something completely unique that I've never seen before is saying something. Alright, I'm gonna switch back to that smaller brush so that I can put it on my lower lash line now. I'm gonna take this shade now, and I'm going to use that all over my eyelid, kind of just to like really start establishing the mood of the eye look. With Romand shadows, do make sure to knock the excess off your brush. Since it is so powdery, you don't want to have all this powder on your face, so just tap and then it works just fine. And it's so easy, each quad is so easy, like you really have to try to mess up these looks that you can get. As usual, I always tend to blow my eyeshadow pretty far. With the lower lash line, I'm starting to really make sure that I focus it on the outer half of my lash line. So I'm not going to build it up all the way around my lower lash line, I'm only going to build it up on the outer half. Okay, so you can see that I have the second color on, and that really is beginning to establish some depth. So now I'm going to take this darkest shade right here, and I'm going to use that to really amp up the depth of my eyeline. So I'm going to do a vertical gradient method, like what you see me do a lot when I'm doing daily looks for my monolids, where I keep it darkest closest to my lash line, and then I just go lighter towards my brow bone. It looks really dark in the pan, and you can definitely build it up on the eye, but when you first start out, it's like super subtle and super easy to blend in layers, so I really like that. You can see compared to this eye the depth that I'm establishing. Now for this one, I'm really just keeping it on that outer third. So instead of doing the inner whole half like I did with my other shade, I'm only doing the outer third. You can see how that makes my eye look a lot longer and deeper. Okay, so you can see how my eyes are done. It's really super simple. Well, the mattes are done anyways. So I have the really purpley shimmer here, but I also have this shade here. I'm not really so sure which one I want to do. I think we'll go ahead and stick with the purple one that's in here. It just kind of has that more frosty, almost like snowfall appearance to it. Although it's not really snowing where I live, it almost never snows. So for the Romand formula, it's best applied with your finger. You pick up a generous amount on your finger, and then you just kind of sprinkle it on. So I'm just concentrating it on the center of my eyelid. It's really subtle, but it's really pretty. I'm gonna take a little brush and just make sure I can intensify it where I want it. And then I'm actually going to go ahead and use an angled brush so that I can properly push everything into my lower lash line. I can see that some of the sparkle did kind of migrate a little bit off my upper lash. So the thing about a lot of Romance shimmers is that there's not a super pigmented base, it just looks like twinkling stars. It's really pretty, but I wouldn't call it necessarily super appropriate for an inner corner, so for that I'm gonna go and find something else. I have the highlighter from the same collection. This is the lavender cool toned one. Mine has a little tiny crack in the corner, so I'll hold it carefully, but I think this will be good for our inner corner. As far as highlighters go, it's obviously not super intense, which is very common for Korean highlighters, but it's still really pretty. You can see the very subtle. I ordered the ColourPop Holiday Gel Liner Kit, but obviously I don't know where it is. Their shipping times, they already said, are going to be slow, but it's like snail's pace. So unfortunately, I don't really have a gel liner I can use. I still kind of want to do eyeliner though, so I'll see if I have anything else I can use. I have this eggplant shade alkaline that I got at 21 Days of Beauty from Urban Decay. And I don't need to sharpen it, which is nice. I just wanted to add just a little bit of definition to my eyes. I like my monolids, I like my eye shape, but I still am allowed to say that monolids and eyeliner not getting along will always make me jealous of other people who don't have this problem. Oftentimes they set pretty quickly. So right now my eyes kind of look droopy, like I drooped them, which is just because the natural shape of my eyes is almost like triangular, where the peak of my eyes, like the highest point of my eyes, instead of being further back, which would make my eyes look more almond and upturned, it's like further in. So my eyes look really short and stubby. But once I put on some mascara and curl my lashes, that usually helps kind of counteract that a little bit. So I am just going to be wearing mascara today, I just don't really feel like false lashes. I'm going to be using this colored mascara from LILYBYRED. It's like a dark burgundy brown color, so it'll fit this look pretty well, especially with my eggplant eyeliner. Honestly, if you have black eyelashes, most colored mascaras are pretty much a scam. They're not going to really show up at all. But a lot of these Korean mascaras actually do a pretty good job of showing up on black eyelashes. But like, you can see how my lashes barely show up. What you can see is that my eyes look a lot bigger, but my lashes not really there. I am going to use a black mascara on my bottom lashes. I don't need my bottom lashes to look like they don't exist. I'm just going to use a little bit though, just so that they kind of at least show up a little bit. I know it's kind of like flipped. Most people would use a colored mascara on the bottoms and blacks on tops, but once I focus, you can see what my eyes are looking like. You can see that the shimmer is really pretty. You know, I do kind of have lashes. Not really though. I'm gonna use this Fenty cream blush. I got it in the shade Petal Poppin'. It's a pretty like run-of-the-mill, goes with anything kind of pink. I thought it would work really well. As you can see, it's a very agreeable shade. I'm not really so sure how like best to use this. I generally speaking just go with my finger to start, at least. If I don't like how it works, then I'll try it with something else. Well, it's actually a pretty hot pink, but if I just use a little bit, I think I can tone it down. I was not expecting it to be so pink, that's for sure. Well, it actually blends out super well, so yeah. I was debating between this or my M Cosmetics blushes because I just have so many of those and I really need to use them. But to be honest, every time I use them, I feel like I can't get them to look the way that other people do on like YouTube videos and stuff. Mine never looks the same. I feel like it always just kind of blends out to nothing. I don't understand what people are doing to make it look so good. I watch their videos, but I guess maybe the products just aren't meant for me. So I don't know if I know this sounds like a cardinal sin, but like as much as I love them, it's almost like I just have like a fantasy version of me where I use them and I look like everyone else. But in reality, I might have to just kind of come to terms with the fact that those products don't work on me. Like, I always wanted to try all these liquid blushes, but I've come to realize maybe I'm not a liquid blush person. And, you know, maybe that's okay. So, this is what I'm looking like now. I'm gonna take that same Romand highlighter I used, and I'm gonna use it to apply a nice light dusting on my cheeks. It's super subtle, so I use a diffuse brush like this, and then I can just kind of buff it all over my cheeks. Just kind of adds just a glow to the entirety of my face, honestly. Since that kind of like frosted morning, like the grass blades are still covered in ice, is kind of the look I'm going for. So I'm kind of just making this part of my face look a little frosty almost. Just a little bit on my forehead so it doesn't look completely weird, but I don't want to look glowy. I don't want to look like I'm glowing from within. I'm using the highlighter today to not achieve that look. I'm using it to achieve like a kind of that, what I mentioned earlier. Not necessarily like Tin Man or anything, but definitely not the standard goal of highlighting is not what I have in mind. I like that, yeah. No, you cannot walk on my makeup desk. You cannot be so, no. My desk is a complete and utter mess, so I just like the moment they're very nimble, but it's literally impossible to walk on my desk without knocking everything off, and it's just totally my fault. Alright, last is the lips. I still want a matte lip even though it's winter and my lips are so dry. I just really like matte lips. I have a new lip product to show you guys, so I honestly should stop covering my lips in foundation. I know way back in the day that was like if you wanted to do a Korean gradient lip, you first like concealed your lip line. But honestly, I feel like adding that concealer and then I line my lips, it just looks weird. So if I just let my lips not be covered and then I line, it'll look a lot better. I'm not saying it'll look more natural, it'll just look better. Right now it's like, oh, I covered up my lips, but now I'm adding the color back in. Why am I doing that? Alright, I'm gonna try this lip color. I got this during the Black Friday sale with Ulta. It was $15 instead of $24, so it's their Powder Kiss Liquid Lip Color. When I first saw the Powder Kiss lipsticks, I was like, oh my god, I want one. It's like a diffused powdery matte with that kind of blotted gradient finish. Like, it was perfect. I was like, I gotta have it. But then I never really ended up getting them because I just never could get myself into lipsticks because I'm so self-conscious about the shape of my lips, and lipsticks I couldn't really contour my lips the way I liked, so I always gravitated towards liquid lipsticks where I could, you know, fake the shape of my lips and, you know, then I liked it better. So when they came out with these, I was like, oh my god, I need these like right now. And then when I just, again, it was just like, I just don't want to spend that much money on a liquid lip color, especially when I can get them from Romand for like under $10. But $15, and especially with their color selection, I was like, I really want to try it. If you don't know already, there's a YouTuber named Minsco. She's a Korean YouTuber and she has a series called Lipsco where she does lip swatches of all sorts of lip products. Like literally, she buys or gets sent entire collections of lip products that people are interested, that she's interested, and she will lip swatch and arm swatch all of them and talk about them in the formula and do comparisons and things. So she is like my Bible for picking lip colors. I refer to her videos all the time. So I'm doing the hand thing. I'm gonna link her channel down below and I'm gonna link her video of her lip swatching all of these MAC Powder Kiss lipsticks. So if you guys want to see which colors you guys think would look good on you, then just watch her video. That's how I picked. Like, I got A Little Tamed. I also got the ever so famous Devoted to Chili, which was what I had really wanted in the original lipstick formula. And then I also got Make Love to the Camera. I got these 3 shades. And I think this one might work today. Because what I found so interesting about these, the formula is not really super unique or anything, like that whipped matte, blotted, diffused formula, blur matte, whatever. It's like, I mean, Korea's been doing it for years now, but, you know, MAC has different color sensibilities, different color preferences, very different from the color sensibilities of the Korean brands making other formulas. Like if you look at the color selection of the Powder Kiss liquid lip colors versus like the Romand, you'll find a very big difference. And so I wanted some of the shades that I just can't find in other brands, and so that's why I went and got those. This might be a little bit bright, but whatever. Yeah, so it kind of has that vanilla scent. I love the applicator. It like has its own built-in blender. As usual, I'm gonna diffuse and blend the edges. That was all with just one dip. Usual. And this side's a little harsh, so I'm gonna use my finger. So as you can see, it's like I don't know how good a job I did matching lips to the look again, but I might top it off with a gloss just to kind of try and match it. I might have a gloss in the shade. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna use this Wet n Wild and Sanrio lip gloss. This is the Kuromi version. Yeah, so that kind of unified the lip color with my eye look just a little bit. The only thing about that gloss is it's pretty thin, so once you blend it out, it doesn't really have much shine. So I'm gonna use the Fenty Beauty Gloss Bomb to kind of add that last layer of shine. My hair is just a complete mess. Like we're not talking about my hair today. It needs to be washed. I've been so tired. I've hardly brushed it. We're just gonna ignore my hair. I think the lip added a little bit of warmth to it that I didn't want, but the eyes and the face turned out the way that I was imagining. As I've mentioned before, one of my greatest weaknesses is matching lips to everything else and getting better. I do intend to swatch all of my lip products and then laminate them and like literally label all of my lip colors so that I see what they look like in real life. That'll really help me pick out a lip color much better, because honestly it looked a lot different in the frosted tube. And I don't always like messing up my hands because it's such a hassle to clean, so I don't always swatch my lip products before putting them on. I just kind of like, fingers crossed, maybe it'll work, which is not really a great method. I want to give you guys really great looks that actually look cohesive and don't look crazy. Other than that, I really like this look. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!